Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba has announced he is stepping down and told his party to hold an emergency leadership race to find his replacement. In a statement, Ishiba said he would remain in office, however, until his successor is found. His resignation follows growing calls from within his party to take responsibility for a historic defeat in July's parliamentary election. Ishiba took office in October and has resisted stepping aside until now, saying it would create a political vacuum while Japan faced key challenges. And for more on that, let's turn to Stephen Nagy, visiting fellow at the Japan Institute for International Affairs in Tokyo, who joins us from the Japanese capital. Stephen, appreciate your time. We should acknowledge from the start this comes as no surprise, but give us some background. Why now?
So what we've seen over the past year, Michael, is that Prime Minister Ishiba lost two, I think, important elections. What that means is that the Liberal Democratic Party, the party that he's the leader of, lost majorities in both the lower and upper house. The traditional practice, if this was to take place, is the Prime Minister would take responsibility. They would hold a party election for a new leader, and there'd be a new Prime Minister. But he's resisted those calls. Second, I think importantly, there's somewhat of a civil war within the Liberal Democratic Party itself, with conservatives seeing Prime Minister Ishiba taking Japan away from the consensus that was built by the late Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in terms of how to manage the relationship with the United States, how to manage the relationship with China, and to continue to invest in diversifying economic, diplomatic, and security partnerships with Australia, the UK, the Philippines, Southeast Asia in general, and India and Europe. And it's these shifts away from the consensus that has really created tremendous pressure that resulted in his resignation today.
What's next then? Is Japan entering a political paralysis?
So I think that many of us are worried that Japan will enter a period of rotating leadership. We've already seen three leaders in less than 4 years: Prime Minister Suga, Prime Minister Kishida, and now Prime Minister Ishiba. And the last time that this happened, Japan went off the map in terms of its foreign policy and in terms of its global leadership. And that shifted again under the former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe being in office 8 years. Of course, he didn't accomplish everything he would like to, but it's that long-term duration of leadership that allows for not only the creation of policy, but importantly, the implementation of policy and the fine-tuning of policy over time. So we are expecting a rotation of leaders moving forward and likely conservative leader coming in, but we don't know how long they'll last.
I'll remind our viewers, Japan's economy is the world's fourth largest. This resignation comes after Ishiba completed a trade deal with the U.S. What effect, if any, might this have on the country's economy?
Well, to be clear, the United States relationship with Japan is the most important relationship that Japan has. It's often called the cornerstone of Japan's security policy, and that will not change. The trade agreement with the United States, in which the Japanese agreed to basically pay $550 billion of infrastructure connectivity and other kinds of investments in the United States, was meant to decrease tariffs and to equalize the trade relationship. And this means that the relationship is going to deepen, and I don't think that's going to change under a new prime minister. In fact, I think a new conservative prime minister may have more success in the relationship.
Stephen Nagy from the Japan Institute for International Affairs. Many thanks to you, sir.
Thanks, Michael.